Yo, we back at it. We told y'all we gonna split up the segments so y'all can watch 2 videos and watch it when you can. You know, before we in the second segment, we had a little bathroom break, man. My stomach was going crazy a little bit, man. But you know, before we had let off, we was talking about that Dallas, and you know, I know you said you like Dallas as a whole team. Obviously, you're a Dallas fan. What about the players? Cause Amari been going crazy. Gallup, solid.
I wouldn't expect big games from Amari and Gallup this week, but Zeke. This is where they're like, okay, Zeke, it's getting to that time. Like Kev always say, winter back season's coming. You know, it's time to open it up, bro. We built our team around this, around you, around running, the line, all that, even though we're a little banged up. But yeah, this is where Zeke is going to go crazy. Anybody with Witten and Gallup and, well, Witten ain't did nothing anyway. Gallup and cool.
Witten will get you an 8.
Maybe, you know.
You thirsty.
We'll live with it if you're thirsty.
Thirsty.
Yeah, but don't expect like Amari last week. Don't expect like Coop, Gallup to go crazy as well. You know, but you know, solid fours though. You know.
I like all the Cowboys to be honest, but I definitely agree. You know, 100%. We don't agree much, but this is one of them games where they should establish the run because it's the Jets. The Jets suck. It's just what it is. The Jets suck. They're going to run on them. And it's going to be some play actions, but it's going to be which receiver benefit from the play action. I think it would be Gallup, but like I said, he's like a, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if he get like a 10 to 15, and I really say 10 to 12. You know what I mean? One 40-yard catch, touchdown, you know what I mean? 8 points there, get
5 for 6.
4 catches, you know what I mean? 12, 13 points. You know what I mean? Amari, I don't see Amari getting a 40-piece. Because I don't see the Jets putting him in a game where they need to do that. You know what I mean? And he's banged up. But, you know, he kind of shocks me every time. Amari Cooper.
Yeah. He the truth, man.
You going out there, you playing shit.
Yeah, he the truth, man.
That's crazy how many times he been burnt. You got burned by him before. I got burned by him before. And it's like, you got burned by him before.
Yeah,
I think you traded last year.
I think I got T.Y. in another body and put me back in the mix, snuck me in the offs.
That's crazy. Amari really be. That's crazy. I don't know. Dak, I think he can run for one.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Dak run one, throw one, but Zeke 2 touchdowns.
Big game for Zach.
Yeah. Dak gonna have a solid game.
I don't think nobody in the Jets.
What y'all think about like Crowder?
I like Crowder actually this week. The last game that Jameson played or that Darnold played, he had like some 15 targets or something like that. So if I do like a Jet, you gotta start Le'Veon Bell, but I like Jameson Crowder.
He had 17 targets, 14 catches for 99 yards last time they played together.
Yeah. So I think if anybody,
That's why it sucks that Herndon isn't gonna be
He would've ate.
He would have ate a little bit. You know what I mean?
That's his guy.
That's his guy. And he got Crowder and Herndon to go to when he get healthy. That I don't see him doing shit against Dallas though. I picked up Dallas every chance I could get. I picked him up 2 weeks ago, like I said. But you know, you running with him. We running with him. Let's get into the last game before we get into DraftKings advice. Green Bay, Detroit.
I like Detroit. I like big carry-on game. No Adams for Green Bay. It's gonna be tough.
Prayers up for carry-on game.
Yeah, it's gonna be.
Because you already won. You already said more than one time that you already won.
He made a trade. He got better.
Before the trade, you won.
I was comfortable with.
So what is it about the trade that made you better that you
got Matt Ryan? Matt Ryan. You got Matt Ryan now, and then he got
hungry, thirsty Matt Ryan.
Worst case scenario.
Something like that.
Oh no, you ain't worried about Matt Ryan. You worried about because you got Ridley. Oh, I didn't think about it.
I ain't mad about it.
If Ridley go off, Ryan go off.
Well, yeah.
So you really don't go off then.
He's worried about that.
No, but what if really don't go off? Julio do what he's supposed to do.
Yeah, so then it's bad.
And then
this
I
might
won't
be a
rather
4-point Ridley game.
But if it's a
You don't even know his name. You're so worried about it. We just say Riley.
I'm stuttering like what over here.
Riley. I got Ridley. I'm hoping he has a solid game, but nobody won't take him from me in my league. I've been trying to trade him.
I got Ridley gonna bounce back. They're gonna be alright.
Bro, I can't get nobody to take him. If I go in the chat right now and say, who got somebody for me? Ridley on the block. I'm going to get 3 people that say, don't nobody want Ridley, bro. Don't nobody want Ridley.
At all.
Ridley gonna have the second game in a row scoring a touchdown this week.
That's what he was last year, was touchdown dependent.
We'll see. Good luck.
But I like Ridley though. You know, if something were to happen to Julio, God forbid. You know, fantasy, God forbid.
Yeah.
But the
Ridley
Lions
will be
package,
the guy.
really the guy. But
We did get off track.
Yeah, I was
Dealing
just
with
thinking
that
like,
goddamn team.
I'm
Green Bay,
obsessed with my
Detroit.
team. He bringing up
Green
Ridley.
Bay,
That's
Detroit.
Yeah, carry on.
that's
Carry
gonna be
on,
a
gang.
good division game
Yeah, Galladay.
for sure. I love Galladay, man. Like I said,
let's go against Jair. Still gotta start him.
But they got killed last week.
they did.
Who was it?
Dallas.
Dallas.
Yeah.
Alexander got toasted on that big Amari play when he spent on him.
Yeah.
Or spent on the other defender.
Yeah. And
Players
players
fuck up.
Players fuck up. But Galladay, he gonna go stupid. I don't know Hawkinson's status. It's a, I know he took a big hit. Yeah,
If you're banking
You
on
gotta
it.
have plans.
but I still like Hawkinson. I feel like if Hawkinson's on your wire and you got a spot and you thirsty for a tight end, unless you got one of the big 3/4, whatever.
Yeah.
I think Hawkinson's worth the pickup. But as far as this game though, I like the Lions. Devontae Adams. They needed him.
That boy was in street clothes.
Yeah,
He had on a tech fleece. He was not playing over there.
Not even close.
I traded him for Galladay. I feel like I was. Shout out to Foster Boss, man. I feel like I won. I swear.
Now look, you got Allison and Valdez-Scantling over there though. Somebody got to do something.
Ain't that desperate.
Hey, you got a quarter in your pocket? Flip it. That's who you play. Tell Allison heads Valdez-Scantling. This is Aaron Jones game. That boy about to go crazy. Detroit defense pretty good though.
Yeah, they got snacks over there in the middle, and they got some dudes on that line.
But if Aaron Jones, I like him better when he's catching passes. So I hope Detroit go off on them a little bit. You know what I mean?
And Williams
Williams coming back.
Williams playing.
Williams,
But he coming off that stinger. You know what I mean? They might not use him to go crazy. They need to win too. This versus Detroit. You know what I mean? Detroit trying to still make their market, let them know what's going on. You know what I mean? Two young coaches. Well, not young, but newer coaches. I love Galladay for sure. I don't know if I'm starting Aaron Rodgers this week. He don't got no weapons.
Yeah,
and I'm only saying that because it's in two leagues I'm in. It's quite coincidentally they got Rodgers and Dak. So even with Dak versus the Jets, I'd rather start Dak over Rodgers this week. You know what I mean? But if you're banking on Rodgers, you got to start him.
I will for sure start Dak over Rodgers this week. Rodgers don't got who he got. Jimmy.
Would you start Jameis over Rodgers this week in London?
Yes, I will comfortably start Jameis over Rodgers this week.
You know what's crazy? Jameis is like that guy that I'll probably never play him when he has a great game because I'm scared to play him.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he proves me wrong, but I'm scared to play him because that game I'm playing, he's going to have 6 points and throw 6 interceptions, bro. It's crazy.
And it's crazy because I dropped him after he burnt me out the first 2 games.
I dropped him in the league too.
And he went crazy.
And he's been going crazy.
And everybody dropped him probably after that.
This might be a Marvin Williams game, but I'm staying away from the Green Bay receivers. I'm going full carry-on and Galladay. Even Marvin Jones, if we're talking about like DraftKings or something. You know what I mean? But Green Bay, Aaron gonna do his thing. Well, since we're talking about DraftKings, since this is the DraftKings episode, you know what I mean, a segment or whatnot, let's talk about some DraftKings specials y'all like, man. Give me a few quarterbacks. Start with Wood. Who you got?
DraftKings, as far as quarterbacks, Minshew. For some reason,
5 stackeries.
5,000. They at home. For some reason, I don't know. I just I'm a for sure throw him in a lineup or two. What y'all think?
Saints, you think Saints gonna score a lot on them?
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a high score game. I think Bridgewater. That's another thing too. I think Bridgewater is a solid play too, and I think it's gonna end up being a high scoring game. Yeah.
So if you're going low, if you're looking for low quarterbacks, because I think Minshew is probably one of the lowest ones. If you go young quarterbacks, you're going Minshew or Bridgewater.
You know what? I'm gonna say this. I would go Bridgewater first. over Minshew as far as low, for sure.
I think it's gonna be a sneaky high.
5,050. Yeah, me too.
I think so.
3 touchdowns for Bridgewater. Run 1, throw 2. Cause I feel like, Michael Thomas and Kamara gotta eat too. You know what I mean? So, and Minshew, he just be slinging it, but whatever.
What do you like? I'll say this right quick I think this might be a week where you just go ahead and pay for that quarterback you like.
That's what
I only say that because like I don't like the high running backs this week. So I feel like I'm gonna have a lot of extra money on wide receivers. How much do I like the wide receivers? So I feel like I'm gonna kind of be spending a lot of money on 6,000 and under 7,000 players this week. You know what I mean? Like a Russell at 66. You know what I mean? Mahomes is always 74. You know what I mean? What type of quarterback you like that's on that
I
level?
like a Watson.
That's
6,700. I think he has a better game than Mahomes this week.
Yeah.
I think that they airing it out. They got it going right now. The O-line blocking for him.
Yeah.
Big game from Hopkins. Big game from Fuller.
Yeah.
So
Solid game. I think Hopkins is gonna have.
I think he's the number one QB.
But Watson might run for 80 yards
Exactly.
with a touchdown. Plus go crazy.
Yeah. So I'm spending the money on Watson. So.
Yeah.
This might be, I think, spending the money on the quarterback.
Russ
Watson 66, 67, Russ 66. I'm spending it. You know what I mean? Even Matt Ryan 64. We talk about him having a big game.
Yeah,
Matt Ryan versus that Arizona D, man. Matt Ryan, even
I would say this though, as far as the quarterbacks towards the top, I would go Watson first, then I will go Russ, then I will go Matty Ice.
I like that three.
Right.
I like that three for sure. Those will be my best quarterbacks this week. Running backs, talk to me. Who we got?
Who do I have on here? I like Ingram. 60, what was he, 66?
6,000.
Big, I think 66.
66?
Yeah, 66.
Yeah.
6,000 would be crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure.
Versus Cincy running all over
Cincy,
the ass.
Yeah, he gonna kill. You gonna get your money worth with that. So, or you go with AP, 4,500 if you want to go the cheap route.
Mm-hmm.
You can go AP.
Yeah.
You might probably get a few goal line touches against Miami for sure. I'm not expecting a 100-yard game, but maybe.
But you see so many people streaming Washington defense this week, which ain't the worst. It's just they playing hitters.
Yeah.
But man, is them playing D or AP might get a lot, but are they scoring a lot of points when they trying to keep Miami off the field? I don't know. I see a sloppy game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Sloppy low scoring game.
Sloppy low scoring game. AP 10? He gonna get you 10. I mean, for 44, I mean, 45, I might rather have Drake on the other side.
I like Drake at 4,400 too.
I think I'd rather have Drake over AP.
Go ahead.
For me, Duke Johnson, man.
That's right. You like Duke.
Duke
KC,
how much is Duke?
4,100.
He cheaper than AP and Drake.
Yeah, I'll probably go with Duke for sure.
Due for, I think he just.
And he going against Kansas City. Game script is going to play a part.
This is a Duke game.
It's a Duke game.
And this is a proven game for both teams, I think. Even though he probably won't play, I think both these teams want to beat each other.
You trying to get him to play in the flex. You wanted to play Duke in the flex. What? You about to be sick.
Hey,
I love Duke on the bench.
They both sick. They both working together. They ain't cahoots.
I don't give a
Listen to the wire.
Y'all acting unusual right now.
Listen to the wire.
But 4,100, bro. 4,100. That's great.
Yeah, for sure.
That's great.
I mean, this is a game where he really.
We just talked about AP 45 and Drake 44.
If you say it like that, then 41. You put it that way.
And then another stat on Duke is after the contact hit, like you said earlier, I think take
most yards after contact.
Yeah, most yards after contact. You know.
And the Chiefs ain't tackling because they did be a lot better, I'm sure. You know what I mean? The way they was letting Mac dancing around. You know he got the most yards, seconds behind the line of scrimmage, and the most yards or something like that. Something about how long he takes behind the scrimmage.
He's like a
Bell.
Le'Veon Bell. Yeah, he's definitely Le'Veon Bell.
What if he go crazy, bro?
Just patience behind the line.
Hey, Mac about to go.
Dinged up. always dinged up. He getting off track though.
He off the block.
Wide receiver.
Hey.
Wide receiver.
Nah, we still have running back. What about your boy? You said Ingram was
Henry.
66. What about Henry?
Henry 61.
Who they play again? Tennessee.
Denver.
We didn't even
can't
talk
stop.
about that
Denver
game.
can't.
Did
Denver
we?
can't stop the run. We didn't. I think we left that game out.
Denver cannot stop the
We
run.
can't stop the run. So.
Henry's at 6,100.
This might be one.
We're gonna
Hey,
get his 20.
this might be one of them crazy Henry games, and I ain't even just saying it, but this might be one of them crazy. You know what I mean? Crazy.
Cause you damn sure gonna need it, boy.
I know you said something about Edmonds. You like Edmonds a lot at that 46.
Yeah, put him in the flex.
I got. I got Evans 46. Even if David Johnson play, because David Johnson, you know, at this point, if he gets hurt, dinged up, and Evans is playing cool, they're gonna sit him. They're not gonna
That's
force
a good
things,
point.
especially with a back injury.
It could be a Falcons blowout, and
Yeah.
they rest
let
David
Evans-
Johnson.
Yeah.
Edmonds and he gonna catch them passes and get loose.
Yeah. And they wanna
He'll
see
be
that
highly
young
known
fella.
though. If David Johnson is sitting out, everyone will be picking Edmonds. So just know that they're gonna be using, like, if you're in big contests, you know what I mean, the real big ones, a lot over 100,000 people, he'll be 30% plus owned, I think. Maybe even a little more. But he'll be worth it if he balls, because the price he is.
Exactly.
Because the price he is.
And
you know
I think
what I mean?
even if David Johnson suit up, because any little thing, no, I'm feeling it. He might come out and, like Sammy, didn't Sammy do that a few weeks ago?
Yeah.
Come out and play a couple snaps. But yeah, man. You know. Another one for me I like that I think is kind of cheap with running backs. Breida, 5,100.
That's cheap.
That's cheap.
And then Coleman what was Coleman?
44.
44. I go on the Coleman side because I feel like they're pretty even.
You think
Like
so?
it's kind of a toss up between them two, so I might as well go with the cheaper one.
Who's going to catch more passes? Both of them.
Who's going to score
Yeah,
more
both.
touchdowns?
At 51?
Breida, baby.
Yeah.
Brady, that was his first 2 touchdowns of the year, though. His last.
I think this is what, like.
Now he might get it going, yeah, for sure.
You know, but we'll see.
This might be a long shot, but I like Miles Sanders 4,200. But I definitely like Duke way better. And I think when you pick a running back like a Duke or like a cheap running back, you don't want to have too many cheap running backs in.
Yeah.
But if it's somebody that has a solidified role, like an Edmonds, if Johnson's out, then that's cool. If you know, if you like stacking different positions or you like the wide receivers a little more, you know, it's all a guessing game though. You know what I mean? What about wide receivers? Let's jump to wide receivers.
Cooper Kupp.
You spending that money on Cup?
Cup and Watson, them my two. I'll go two cheap running backs that catch the ball, so I can get Watson, Cup, and you know maybe Watson, Cup, Ingram. I'll stack them and then go cheap the rest of the way. I really want Cup this week.
7,100. He's probably worth it. You know what I mean? They gotta show the Niners that they the guys. You know what I mean?
I got Sharp at 50,
That's a great play.
5,500. I mean, I don't think it's
53 or 55?
55.
55. Ooh,
I don't think
great
that's
play.
a secret, but against NO,
I think people might be scared of Lattimore, so they might not play him. People might be the Lattimore, you know.
and I think
he's
it's time
more
to play that
stable.
boy. He's a play.
Yeah.
Sharp is a play.
And they're moving him everywhere, like we said earlier. I'm gonna tell you one I love. At 6,800, he's probably never really been that cheap. But in the last, OBJ, strike back versus Seattle. OBJ's a nice
He's
play.
never been under 7,000.
OBJ's a nice play this week.
Never.
I don't want to hear that. I don't agree.
I bet you don't. He's going off this week though.
Anybody I trade is going off. Matter of fact, so who did I trade this week?
Diggs.
I
Evans
traded
going
Mike
off.
Evans, Diggs.
I think it's gonna be a Diggs.
They're
game.
going off, y'all. Pick them.
I do think it's a Diggs game. This
Hey,
game.
G gonna say.
For Philly.
I
He's
don't
Philly.
know, homie. Every time you trade Damo, it isn't working out great for him. So them players are gonna ball out. I swear.
Like fast.
really like that. Donald,
Just trade for Aaron Jones though.
Will Fuller, back to back.
51. How much
Back
is
to back,
Fuller?
big wig,
6,000? Woo!
I think
I'd rather take a Sharp chart.
Or Boyd.
Sharp chart.
Nah, no, boy.
Boyd at 63.
That
Baltimore
secondary
got-
is terrible.
I'm not spending 6,000 off that
Baltimore?
game because people gonna pick.
Yeah, people probably ain't gonna
If I pick Fuller, I'm picking
more
D
people
Hop
like
too.
you.
I'm picking D Hop because more people picking Fuller probably.
You think so? I feel like people are gonna think like you. Like I ain't paying for Fuller that one game. Blah blah.
He ain't finna have 50.
Nah, he ain't.
Nah,
doing
He
that.
might not even have 20.
I think he has 20.
You
I
pray.
think he
4
has
for 40.
a bomb, a 40-plus
Hey,
yard touchdown.
You sure hope and think a lot for somebody who said you know you gonna win. Hey, now you said something that was hella funny. You said you ain't never been this comfortable all year about who you play.
They trying to put me on
No, what you said? You said not for real.
Oh,
You
no.
said this is the most comfortable you
I
felt
will
this
make
year.
sure I'll be back next week.
He said this is the most comfortable I done felt. That's what he said.
That was before he made the trade, though.
I played our production manager, man, L. Mangler, man. L's, he coming straight back from Bali, so he wasn't here. But, you know, we got a good matchup coming up. But, you know, I traded some pieces, so, you know, he a top dog right now, you know what I mean? We'll see what
You're
happens.
in trouble.
Hey, but,
Trending down.
hey, you know,
Trending
hey,
down.
it's a marathon, man. Neighborhood, man.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, man. It's a marathon, man. Hey, but look, DK Metcalf, I like to throw him in there for that 47, and Mohamed Sanu is cheap. 4,500 in a game like this, he kind of hit or miss, but if he give you that solid 14, solid 12, 13, 14, I know I say 12 a lot, but you know,
I like
How much is,
Westbrook around there, too.
Yeah. How much is Ridley though?
6,000 or something. 5,700.
Yeah, Sanu.
I like Gallup. Gallup 5,600.
Ooh.
I like Gallup.
Sutton is 5,000.
So it's a good play. Tennessee got good
I like
players.
Tyler Lockett, 6,400. That might be one of them. That's a lot, but this is gonna be one of them games though.
That's
Cleveland
nice.
hungry,
That's
bro.
nice.
He gonna eat that little second. I like both receivers in Seattle, and I love Russ. You know what I mean?
I like Lockett a lot more, but he a
That's
little
pretty high.
pricey. He a
It's
little.
pretty high.
he-
Preston Williams is a sleeper for me, 4,100. I think Devontae Parker around that range too. You know what I mean?
Devontae Parker for 4,100 around that range. That's a good play.
Solid
I would have him in a lineup or two.
Yeah.
I wouldn't flood him, but I have him in a lineup or two.
That's a solid play.
What y'all think about Woods at 5,600 with Gurley not playing?
That I like that one.
Yeah.
I like
That's a good
Woods.
point.
I like
And like you
Woods.
said, it's all on golf now. So,
All on
you
God.
know,
I might.
and then Brandon Cooks in concussion protocol. I got him in the league. I
You
don't
gotta
know if
go
he's even
Woods.
playing or
If
not.
you're not a Niner fan, you probably do Golf, Woods, and Cup. Just say fuck it. Or Everett and Cup. Y'all got some tight ends. Speaking of tight ends, how much is tight? What tight ends y'all like?
I like Everett.
I like Everett. I'm not sure.
Everett, I
how
think
much
it
he
was
is,
like
though.
5,000. I think they had Ertz at like 53. I saw.
52 is Ertz or Kittle 52. I like Austin Hooper at 5,000. But I see, you know what's crazy about tight ends? Look, the top 5 tight ends as far as price wise, I wouldn't pay up for Kelsey 7,000, but Ertz 5,400, Kittle 5,200,
Disney
Hooper
49?
5,000, Disley 49. You can't lose with any of them.
I like Disney.
You cannot lose with any of them.
49.
Even
And then
Jason
I hate
Witten
the
throwing
Celtics.
Witten in for a little cool 3,900. Delaney Walker 37. He ain't did nothing in 3 games.
4,000. That's what I was finna say.
What's Jimmy Graham?
Jimmy Graham, 4,000.
Yeah.
But who we just said though, Everett,
Yeah.
3,600.
Is he?
3,600 on draft.
Damn, I thought I saw 5,000. I'm tripping.
3,600.
Wow.
Ricky Seal Jones, 3,300.
I agree, Shell Jones.
Ricky Seal might be a nice one. You know, it's plenty of.
If you
Tight
gotta
ends
go
right
cheap
now.
if you got them that big quarterback and a Cup or something like that. So you're gonna have to go cheap in a spot. Why not be tight end?
Yeah.
And tight end's not really killing.
I think my sleeper defense is the Saints versus Jacksonville at Jacksonville. Nobody's picking them. Nobody's picking them. But honestly, this week I'm just sticking with the Cowboys, and that's it. Cowboys 4,300. That's it. I'll be everybody, just like I was everybody in the contest of being the Patriots. You know what I mean? I'm locking them defenses in when they got a matchup like that. You know what I mean?
No. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, what about you got any sleeper, not just defenses, but just players overall? Any sleepers you like? Y'all got
To
any
me,
sleepers?
my biggest one was Duke Johnson. And my sleeper D, now Detroit head coach, the boy from the Pats, I like him a lot. He's learning, he's picking it up, they're getting better. Yeah, Patricia. I like Detroit D against Green Bay because, don't get me wrong, I don't know. I just think for 2,000, I would throw them in the play. I just got a feeling that might be be, like I said, just sleeper lineup or two, maybe a lineup or two that might be one of them divisions.
I like that.
Slow games, you know, low scoring, 17-13, maybe. I'm throwing him in a lineup or two.
That's a good play.
You know,
Yeah,
that's just
I like that.
That's
one.
a super,
I like that one a lot.
super sleeper for
That's a
me.
good play for sure. And then I like Carolina's defense.
Mm.
Playing that early game, Winston
It could
could
be weird.
he could trick it off.
Yeah.
So I'm saying it could get weird over there over in London. So
Real spooky,
Yeah.
quick,
You
man.
remember that year, Mercedes Lewis could have been last year or the year before, scored 3 touchdowns over there?
yeah,
Crazy.
right.
He probably won somebody a whole bunch of money.
That's
But
true.
he
Like you
was
see
no,
that
actually,
game
I
over
seen
there.
it on the thing. He was on like 1.4%, probably. It was at
Like you want
0.4.
somebody who's
I remember that.
stats.
I
Yeah.
definitely remember that.
I'm just saying to
1000%.
say that's weird.
Yeah.
Anything can happen.
I definitely
It's gonna be
remember
a
that.
weird game.
4,500. I want to say this real quick. Muhammad Sanu, last 3 games, fantasy points 13, 18, 15. 4,500.
Steady.
They said by the,
If you get a
by the
touchdown,
snaps. Okay.
No.
No, I was gonna say by the snaps, percentage of snaps or something like that. I could be wrong, but I feel like Sanu is the number 2 when it came to being on the field as much. I'm almost sure about that.
Even his
No, I'm
but
just
look
saying.
though, even his targets and catches. Like, look, the game he had 18. You would think, okay, he must have had some good yards, bro. He had 12 targets, 9 catches. That was a game that they were down against Tennessee early. 12 targets, 9 catches, 91 yards. Like I said, it was skewed a little bit. They were down, throwing every possession for sure.
That's how it's gonna be.
But his targets every week, 6, 7, 6, 12, 5. Receptions, 5, 4, 6, 9, 5.
Solid.
Bro, that's solid.
He's still on the wire on a lot of leagues too.
Yeah.
And a lot of leagues, 57% on the Yahoo.
I was trying to say 56. Yeah.
57% on the Yahoo. That's, you know,
But they said he's always on the field. Always on the field.
Mr.
So
Trusty.
He be
So
in that slide.
trash.
He's a big man in that slide. He's not a tight end down there.
Mr. Trusty. Yeah, I like that for sure. What about any you know, it's Swift season still. Y'all got any players that you think about Swift for? I know for me personally, I still want to go get Tyler Boyd and Galladay. I still want to go get them. If I got a big name that's not producing, not saying I would take Tyler Boyd for Mike Evans. I would try to get more. But I traded Devontae Adams in the league for Galladay last week. I'm taking that. I'm going to Swift season, man.
I wanted Marlon Mack. You got him like Marlon Mack is a guy that I wanted that.
I got it.
I'll take T.Y. too. That's 2
That's
guys
why I
you
know
guys
y'all
both
got my
got.
trade, because niggas didn't shoot it down, bro. Y'all wanted Marlon Mack and them.
I wanted Marlon Mack,
Yeah,
but I
I
didn't
wanted
want.
Marlon
But
Mack
you
to
gave up a lot though.
I gave up a lot for Marlon Mack.
You won a lot. You want
gave
Kelsey
up a lot.
for Mack for me.
I got baby Kelsey Waller.
But you got no depth now. But I mean your team
How I
good.
got that?
You got nobody on your bench. to
Man,
play.
hey.
He was coming off
How I don't got
3
nobody
tight
on my
ends.
bench coming on? What you
You
mean?
ain't got no depth no more. He had Diggs on his bench. He had Gallup on his bench.
Bruh, I got
Yeah.
Marlon Mack, Darren Waller, John Brown is a
Down
great
Wallace
feeling.
not on your bench. He's a
Bruh,
starter.
we just talked about Muhammad Sanu. If you got to throw John Brown into play, look at his stats. 25 fantasy points, 14, 9, 11, 12. That's a great person to just have to
That's
throw
your
in.
only guy on the bench.
Bro, I got Marlon Mack on the bench right now because he on
But
the
you
bye.
got
He's
Howard
on the
in
bye.
the starting lineup though.
Howard is the
Because I
guy.
gotta play Howard.
That's what I'm saying. So
That's
Mack ain't
right
on
now.
the bench. Mack ain't considered on the bench.
Mack and
Mack
Waller
has got
are on
buys.
the bench.
Can't
Mack and
play,
Waller are
bruh.
starters.
Look, I'm gonna say
He
this.
ain't on the bench.
I'm gonna say this. All the time starting, Mack, Melvin, Aaron Jones.
For sure.
2 receivers. Gallup, Julio. They got buys coming
So
up.
after
They
that,
got buys. Look, they got buys coming up. You doing John, bro? You know how easy it is to
I
get
like
receivers
John
off the wire.
Yeah, for plug and plays,
For
not
plug and
If
play.
you
not
got
for
to
an
plug and
injury.
play,
Yeah.
Not for an
we
injury.
all get
Not for
injuries.
injuries.
I got one
That's why
trade
you
left.
gotta prepare.
I got one trade left. You know. But
Good
it's all
man. I like
and then
Marlon
not
Mack.
only that, you know, you can play. You know, AJ Green coming back, hoping to get traded. You know, that was a long term later. What if, you know what I mean, get deeper in that. But John Brown, if I got to start him, I am. You know what I mean? I'll throw him in there. But, you know, when I trade, I don't know about y'all, but I look ahead and see how it's going to be as the weeks go with them. The matchups, sometimes depending on the player. I want to see, like, when that trade, When my buys come up, I told him at first it was a 3 for 3, but I'm like, nah, bro, I ain't gonna have no receiver to play on a buy. Next week, I'll throw in John Brown. Yep, send it. You know what I mean? I can throw him in.
Yeah, pity party.
That's the player I can throw. That's the player I can throw in.
Oh,
he would have did it anyway in the trade. Yeah, he would have just figured it out.
I did. We would figure somebody else out for sure.
man.
I should have waited a little bit and then went back to John Brown. For sure, I can get John Brown. You know, I fucked up. I was too happy, man, getting the player. You know, I was scared about Ingram.
That's why Damo was
if you
happy
got
to see
Ingram
him,
right,
John
and see,
Brown.
look, that's what I was talking about for a lot of episodes. If you got a tight end like Ingram or ones that you depend on, you better go get you another one in case they hurt, bro.
Sure.
You got to, because think about it. If you depended on Ingram to give you a
Or
big
Kelsey.
game or 10 or Kelsey, every week you
That's
depended
a lot
on
of
that,
points
and then
gone.
you lose them. You can replace a wide receiver a little better. It's not as easy. You can't replace running backs. That's why I'm loading up on winter backs.
Yeah.
It's hard to get running backs off the wire. You know, you stay deep. You know what I mean? You gotta stay deep at that tight end.
That's how I won in my year. See, you won it off of one player. Now you have to pay.
He had
pay
players,
well,
though. He had players
Let
on
me
the
stop.
down year.
I'm playing this week.
Draft
so
wise, it was a lot
I'm
better
trying
this
to
year
get up here.
Nah, yeah, draft wise is better, but
than
that's
last year.
but everybody y'all played in the league too last year. Y'all could have won it.
Nah, I'm not. You beat me in this shit. I
I
damn
played
sure
you
could have won it, but I lost.
In a down year?
Bro, who you talking to?
Nah,
Bro,
I don't know.
why was it,
I
bro?
think he made the all
He
last
did.
year.
Come on, I was four, bro.
He was on a mission. He
I
was
lost
on
to
a
you.
mission.
He was on
To
the
keep
He
it
was on a
real.
mission.
Oh, okay.
I lost to
Okay.
you to keep it real.
You did put it out.
I
After
can't
you
get
put
third.
Ryan
You're
out.
right, you're right, you're right.
Yeah.
We found
Come
Ryan
on,
too,
bro.
man. We had him on a milk run
Yeah,
for a little while. He's
where's
back.
Ryan?
He just real sad. He don't even talk no more
Where's
like that. We don't get no
Ryan?
updates or nothing.
Where's Ryan? Shout out Ryan. That's my
He's
guy.
back though.
0-5.
He told Ware to fuck off the other day. I was like, yeah, he's back. Did you see that?
Battle of 0-5 this week.
The only
Like Ware was like, whoa, like on me, like, whoa, okay, buddy.
I missed that.
Fuck
You
off.
That shit was hilarious, bro.
Oh,
And
my
Ryan
God.
don't cuss either.
Nah, Ryan.
Hey man, we gonna give y'all updates constantly about our league, man.
Oh, my
you know, we gonna have Wood the Wire Wizard come through sometimes, and when we get JD back, when they get together, JD's and the Woods, man, it's, like I said,
We
it's a
gonna have
family
them at the
podcast.
table.
We gonna have to-
I
we
can't
gonna bring
wait to
another
see
table
you,
for
JD.
sure.
I might sit in the back and just chill.
Nah, man.
But yeah, man, so we went over the matchups earlier, and then we just hit y'all with the DraftKings. I hope we gave y'all some good gems. I think y'all gave them some good gems for sure
I think we blessed.
on that DraftKings. I
Oh,
hope
one last
everybody
thing.
hit.
Tight end Kittle, 5,200, high scoring game. Rams. I just had to throw that in.
Yeah, I like it.
Go fucking Niners.
Niners.
Look, we gonna be back at y'all
Gang,
Sunday night next week, man, and get into everything, man. We gonna have some nice new segments with the Swerve back, and we be at y'all, man. Hard to start.